We have breaking news in former President Donald Trump's election interference case in Georgia. Fulton County DA Fani Willis has just filed a response to those accusations that she and her lead special prosecutor have been engaged in an improper relationship and mishandled public money. NBC's Blaine Alexander is reporting from the courthouse in Atlanta. Also with us, Christy Greenberg, a former federal prosecutor. Blaine, what exactly did Willis have to say in this response that we have been waiting to hear?
We have been waiting a long time to hear this, Chris, and I've got to say that I'm still making my way through this. We're talking about 176 pages. That's how long the response is. That includes a number of exhibits. I just got it just a few minutes ago. But we do know that just as I'm kind of thumbing through here, I'm looking at some of the exhibits, and they include things that kind of point to the accolades of Nathan Wade, for instance, some of his credentials. We also see a couple of receipts in here. I also see what appears to be some of the notes that we know that she's received, some of the hate mail, some of the threatening words with racist language in it. All of that is attached as exhibits. And so all of this really kind of points to the fact, though, that Fani Willis is mounting what we expect it to be, and what we now see is a very strong pushback and a very vigorous defense of these allegations against her. Remember, they've been hanging out there for 3 weeks now, saying that she financially benefited from hiring Nathan Wade as her lead special prosecutor, that the two are having a romantic relationship. And so what has been filed today, and remember, this is the deadline. The court ordered a final day for her to respond. It seems that she really put a lot of effort into pushing back against these claims. We do know, again, that she spoke out about this indirectly during a Martin Luther King Day ceremony, defending Nathan Wade, and it appears that she is continuing to do some of that here. I'm looking through, I'm seeing screenshots of Facebook posts, but certainly a strong defense as we may kind of make our way through this filing, Chris.
This is something I would normally address and deal with on a Millionaire Morning Show, because I've been covering this literally every single day. I mean, for weeks I've been covering this and following this, and I called it a long time ago when this first broke and they first started having conversations about this. And for those of you that are not familiar with the Millionaire Morning Show, because I know that I might have two different audiences, one over here on the Anton Daniels channel and the Millionaire Morning Show. And, you know, this news broke because I streamed that Monday through Friday. And so we got a couple days, but I think that this is also relevant because it speaks to the nature of people and women, and it speaks to how it is that they feel like they're above the law and they don't have to operate with any ethical, moral compass, even though they hold public office. And just to bring y'all up to speed, one of the things that's improper about the relationship is that she slept with a married man. She slept with a married man. Now, because I know so much about this, because I've been following it and researching it and deep diving into it and reporting on it, because on the Millionaire Morning Show, it always comes back down to the money. The fact of the matter is this. She paid him over $653,000, which is obviously egregiously more than the two other people that was a part of her team, right? One of them only got $70,000. Another one was $90-something thousand. He made $653,000. Billable rates basically equated to him working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes. It makes no sense. On top of that, right, the only reason that this conversation started coming into the forefront in the first place, and these false allegations and his prosecution against Trump, and obviously his co-defendant is blowing the lid off this case, is because they fumbled the bag because he couldn't have a level of dick discipline. And so as a result, the day after he got his payday was the day that he allegedly filed for divorce. The ex-wife, who obviously has never been pictured, hired a white woman, a bulldog, a red-headed white woman, to go after him. He wind up having to admit or basically settle with the wife before he was scheduled to speak, which obviously it shows that the wife took him to the cleaners, and that's his fault because he was out here frolicking with the help, or she was frolicking with the help, and he was taking her, and these tickets was purchased on his credit card, which left a digital footprint as usual, and they over in the Caribbean and California and all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden she promotes this guy and she's giving him a bag and he's getting all of these big cases, and he a married man. She's a 53-year-old woman that's prosecuting the YSL case, also prosecuting Trump with these bogus charges in order to try to prevent him from being president of the United States and letting the people decide whether or not they want to vote him into being the president of the United States. And she foul. She funky, she foul, and she a whore. That's just the reality of it. She got up on the pulpit of a black church and tried to allege that it's this racism and it's systematic against some. No, you funky hoe. You been out here sleeping with another dude that ain't your husband, and you busted down for a real one. He gave you that. He gave you that D. He gave you the real one. You've been frolicking with the help, and you paid him accordingly. And now, the last day for you to file, you filed the documents. And see, MSNBC, I tried to use an objective source or something that's different from Fox News to just show you that this conversation isn't slanted, because I like to use all multiple different sources and then compare and contrast. But the fact of the matter is, she was busting it down for a real one, and she's a whore. She's a whore. And it wouldn't even be so bad, right? Because whores is whores, and we know that chicks is for the streets, they for the streets. It don't matter if you're 53, 23, 33, or 43. You for the streets, right? One's for the streets, you always for the streets. The problem is that we using the public's money in order to be able to do this. You can't tell me that it's not a conflict of interest when the very person that you're paying with the taxpayer dollars is making an egregious amount more, and obviously they busting you down. How can it not be a conflict of interest? That makes no sense whatsoever. And would he have been busting you down if he hadn't worked for you?
All right, Christy, I am getting from, fortunately, some people who have not had to go on the air immediately, some summaries of things that they've looked through. Let me give you a little bit of a sense of some of the things that Fani Willis said. She said there's no financial conflict of interest. And to set this up for folks, the accusation, part of the accusation against her was that she hired someone with whom she was having a romantic relationship, that he received hundreds of thousands of dollars. He was paid to be the special prosecutor in this case, and that they took vacations together. They stayed in hotels potentially together, that they both received some financial benefit from this. DA Willis says she had no financial conflict of interest, no personal conflict of interest, but adds that justifies her disqualification personally or that of Fulton County District Attorney, the Fulton County District Attorney's office, and that the attacks on Special Prosecutor Wade's qualifications are factually inaccurate, unsupported, and malicious. At least what I'm reading here does not directly say there is no relationship. What she's saying is it did not create a personal conflict of interest, nor does it speak to the fact that she believes that he is qualified to hold this position. Is that what you hear from what I'm reading?
So I have not had the opportunity to look at this filing yet, but what I will be looking for, look, I'm not surprised that she would make the argument that she should not be disqualified, even if there were a personal relationship. It's not clear that would merit her disqualification, so I'm not surprised she's taking that position, nor would it at all mean the dismissal of the indictment. Any personal relationship that she was having has nothing to do with the merit of the charges themselves. So again, not surprising she's taking a strong view of that. The one thing when I do read the submission that I am going to be looking for is I'd like to better understand when she says that the attacks on Special Prosecutors Wade's qualifications are factually inaccurate and unsupported. As I understand it, the allegations are that he has scant, if any, experience prosecuting major cases, major felony cases. That seems to be undisputed based on reporting beyond what has been alleged by one of the defendants in this case. So again, it's not clear to me how he would be qualified to be the lead prosecutor on what is certainly the biggest case that has ever come out of that district attorney's office if he's never prosecuted a major felony case before. So that.
Listen, this is foul, it's nasty, it's reckless, it's ugly. Obviously, it's wrong all the way across the board. And the nature of women, despite the fact that you hold a position of power, has not changed. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And if I don't see a whole lot of women that is holding this woman accountable and putting her feet to the fire and absolutely positively denouncing and calling for her to get fired the same way that y'all do for men and say that they leverage their position of power in order to continue to take advantage of people that's not even qualified to do some of the jobs that they're doing. If I don't see that, then don't sit here and ever in any way, shape, or form sit here and tell me that we should not continue to hold you guys accountable, or that we are against it, or some kind of gender war. Because if you can't even hold your own kind accountable, then it's no reason for us to continue to even have a conversation with y'all in the first place. We gonna continue to beat this drum. We gonna continue to gird up, protect each other, hold each other accountable in order to continue to push us forward. But there is no love. There is no love if you don't even hold the people that you say that you support, your sister code, accountable. And if I don't see any of that, if that's not at the root of whatever it is that y'all next live streams and videos are, I don't want to hear it, because I've been beating this horse. I've been on this case. I've been paying attention to it, because it always comes back down to the money when it comes to the Millionaire Morning Show. But this is an ethical and moral responsibility. And more importantly, don't sit here and tell me that it's not a gender war if you're the one that's at the forefront of the congregation protecting the people that shouldn't even be in positions in the first place. I don't want to hear it. If you wanted this, you wanted equal, you also need to take equal responsibility that comes along with getting these positions of power. Is wrong. Is wrong on every single level, especially when you're using public dollars in order to continue to have whatever it is that you got going on. And then you still remain defiant? 167 pages? Oh yeah, we going through all of this. We going through every last page on the Millionaire Morning Show come Monday. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I'm going to be back in the office. Yeah, it's on. Listen, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Do you think that we should continue to hold these hoes accountable? Or do you think that it's okay for them to just come out here and continue to do what they want to do when they want to do it? I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to read y'all comments. I'm out.